Hello, my happy readers. It's Shed Time Stories with me, Issy. Are you ready to share a new story? The title of the book I have chosen to read is Billy Bookley and My Book of Magic Tricks. If you have this book at home, you can read along with me. The author, the person who has written this story, is Simon Register, and the illustrator, the person who has drawn all the pictures, is Charlie Folks. Now, Billy Bookley is a little boy who absolutely loves his books, but sadly, he also gets bullied at school. I wonder if things will change. Shall we read and find out? This is the story of Billy Bookley, a lonely boy indeed. Or at least that's how his bullies had begun to make him feel. With his bright red hair, thick round glasses, and gaps between his front teeth, poor Billy was treated horribly as they called him names and teased. But Billy just ignored the bullies and read his books instead. He opened them up, flicked through the pages, and slowly lowered his head. Books about space, books about cars, books about scary dinosaurs. Little Billy would read them all, no matter how big, no matter how small. Then, one day, life took a twist. He found an ancient book of magic tricks, secretly hidden and tucked away on a shelf high up in the library. It was old, tatty, and held together with string. But what was inside was astonishing. There was every trick you would dare to think, from making pets talk to stopping Trump's stink. But there was one trick that Billy liked best, and he decided to put that trick to the test. Billy swiftly hid the book in his bag and sped out of the room and never stopped, not even once, until he got back home. He crept into the kitchen, trying not to cause commotion, as he emptied all the cupboards to begin his magic potion. Billy opened the book to page 831, which the trick was written on. His eyes grew wide and wild. At the pages he kept on looking. His heart pounded with excitement. He wanted to get cooking. He threw in chili flakes, hair from the dog, and droppings from a mouse, boiled water from the garden pond, then began to wave his homemade wand. One more glance back at the book. He pushed his chest out proud, took one deep breath, opened wide, and read the magic words out loud. Frackle Crackle, it's your duty, only show the inner beauty. At first, he thought it hadn't worked and slumped back in his chair. Billy's disappointment was shadowed with despair. But then a noise came from the pot, a crackle and a pop. Billy jumped up from his seat and peeped over the top. Nervously, with one eye open, he looked at his reflection. But it wasn't what he thought he'd see. It was an image of true perfection. He staggered back, bewildered, shocked, and even frightened. With one more look, the penny dropped, and now he felt excitement. It worked! It worked! I've done it! He began to shout aloud. You'll never find another boy as happy and as proud. He poured the potion in 2 bottles and placed them in his bag. Then off he ran as fast as lightning, with the bag across his back, down the street, across the fields, and all the way to school. Burst through the doors, along the hall, and crashed into a stool. Back he leapt onto his feet, glad the bottles hadn't broken. But just as he set off again, he heard these words being spoken. "Slow down, Billy Bookley, this isn't the Olympics." "Sorry, sir, I will, I promise," Billy said to Mr. Crank. Then off he went up to the roof to find the water tank. Out of breath and gasping, he poured the potion in. Splosh! Slumped back against the water tank with a cheeky, toothy grin. Billy had done all he could for now. He had to be more patient. There was nothing else to do but wait for morning registration. He could hardly sleep a wink that night. His thoughts were racing fast. His spaceship clock counted down until he'd be back in class. Morning had arrived. The alarm clock beeped and flashed. Billy leapt out of his bed. He'd never got dressed so fast. He gulped his porridge like his last meal. Mum shouted, "Slow down, you'll be sick." The reply came back from a mouth still full. "I can't slow down, I need to get back to school, quick." Up he jumped and grabbed his bag, then threw it swiftly on his back. Down the street, across the fields, and all the way to school. He burst through the doors, along the hall, into class, then took his place upon his stool. He perched, motionless, his eyes darting side to side, as he watched his classmates fill their bottles. His eyes and mouth grew wide. Excitement ran right through his mind like electricity runs through a wire, followed soon by nervousness, dread, and even fear. The moment he had waited for was very nearly here. Then, just like that, the boys and girls saw Billy on his stool. They no longer saw a misfit. They saw handsome Mr. Cool, the smartest and most funny boy to ever go to school. The bullies were now ugly, their cruelty their demise. To all the other pupils, they were disliked and despised. Billy still had bright red hair, thick glasses, and gapped teeth. But instead of seeing that lonely boy, they now saw the beauty underneath. From that day on, young Billy was the toast of all the school. No longer was he lonely, no longer no one's fool. Now Billy uses his popularity to be generous and kind, because he knows that real beauty only comes from deep inside. What a great story, and what an amazing magic book that was that Billy found. When Billy looked at his reflection, he saw himself. He already was perfect, just the way he was. True beauty does come from within. Just like all of us, we are all individual. Not one of us is the same, but we are all amazing, just the way we are. I hope you've enjoyed this Shed Time story, and if you want to, you can like, share, follow and subscribe to Shed Time Stories. Then you'll be ready for the next book we can share together. Bye-bye.